Hello, I'm Joseph Barker, and welcome to the Finding Ability Podcast, a place where people are able, adaptable, brave, loving, and exceptional. This is a place where we get into deep conversations about how we can make our lives better and how we can make the world a better place. Hello, this is Joseph Barker, and you're listening to Finding Ability. I hope that you're all well. I'm recording this podcast December 7th. It should be out tonight or tomorrow, but it is the beginning of December, which means that, yes, it is true, winter is coming. And with winter coming, there's colds, flus, a desire to maybe never leave your bed because it's so cozy, or to stay inside and watch TV, and to not brave the elements. This solo cast is specifically going to be addressing why you should. Because I feel like the cold and the exposure to it is one of the healthiest things that we can do as human beings. And some tips and some tricks as to how to make the exposure to that way more fun and way less freaky and traumatizing than it could be. And so over the last several weekends, I've been helping people go through their first cold dip, polar dip, exposure to cold water. And there's been some takeaways from that. One being that a lot of people are really addicted to being comfortable. And I have this myself. This isn't something that I'm judging people for, because I think that it's a natural part of what it means to be a human being. We don't want to push ourselves too hard or move too far away from comfort because it's scary. But within being in a world that's comfortable all the time, there isn't any potential for growth, for learning, and to what I also believe is being present and to living life more fully. I've never met a person leave a cold water experience feeling less present and less in love with life, period. What I have seen is people not go into the cold water and then continue the malaise that is their existence. And I mean, I'm not saying, again, like that everybody who doesn't go into cold water lives a life of perpetual malaise. But what I've seen from my own perspective is such that when people expose themselves to the cold, it rejuvenates a large part of themselves that have been turned off for maybe hours, days, weeks, months, or years, decades even. And I feel like I hope that those things can act as a way to maybe bridge the gap if you are curious about getting in the cold. And it's probably going to be scary, and your whole body's going to say, no, which I've seen people do that for like 20 minutes before they jump in the cold water. Just do it. Whether that's going into a cold tub, whether that's turning your shower to cold, or whether that's, going to a lake and jumping in, just do it. And I feel like you will be pleasantly surprised as to how you feel after. Yes, there's going to be discomfort. Your toes might get really cold. Your feet, your hands might get really cold, and your fingers. And you might feel cold for a while. What I recommend is, can you bring the awareness to the pleasure and the joy that's gained from warming back up? What I found this morning in doing contrast of sauna and going into the cold water was the feeling of pleasure that was gained from the rushing of steam over my body as I got back into the sauna was something that made me giggle instantaneously and filled my whole body full of just joy and elation. I wasn't doing drugs. I wasn't drinking. It was literally just, oh my God. And I feel like that deep satisfaction, that deep feeling of joy is something that most people lack on a regular basis. How often do we feel like our bodies actually feel good in a real way, in a palpable way? And maybe if we have an amazing lover or we can love ourselves in an amazing way, then yeah, sure, that could happen. But how temporary is it? If you're lucky, that can last for a long time. But I feel like so many people on a regular basis are just in a kind of malaise and in a zombified state of looking at screens and eating similar foods on a regular basis, and there isn't joy expressed in the body. And as someone who's been working with people for several years within the fitness kind of realm, yoga, and within the therapeutic realm within people's bodies, I think more of that joy in an embodied way is good. And the cold seems to do that. It's definitely like way nicer to go into cold and then hop into a hot bath or have a hot shower. And the closer that you can kind of bring those together, the better. But what's interesting is that same joy and satisfaction with self also comes from just exposing yourself to the cold. I don't know how many people are going to end up listening to this podcast. I don't know if you find this in 10 years from now in the depths of the internet, or if someone shares it with you because they had an amazing cold experience. But I want you to have encouragement from myself and to feel supported from myself in any kind of curiosity to the cold that you have. It is a way to connect with yourself deeply, a way to push yourself and to do something scary, and has a myriad of positive effects when it comes into your body and your being and your mood. And it's something that's like fun and kind of adventurous. And if you have best friends, if you have people that you like to do crazy stuff with, it's such an amazing thing. I've noticed over the last several weeks of working with people in this capacity and the amount of pride that people have for themselves. And I don't mean biblical pride, like pride cometh before the fall, but the joy that they could do it, the self-assuredness, the confidence comes way up. And I feel like most people don't have that on a regular basis. If they do, awesome. But I believe that there's a large amount of us as human beings that just are kind of in this perpetual, yeah, I'm okay, whatever. Kind of like Kermit, just do. But you can, and we can as a species, do things that are awesome, that are dope, and a bit crazy, and connect us to nature. And that connection with nature is such an important facet of what it means to be alive. The people who I know to be the most successful, and I mean that incorporating, are they like literally happy on a daily basis or a very regular basis? Are they fulfilled with their own lives and what they're doing and working on, creating what they have done and what they're doing in the future? Pretty much every one of those people, except for maybe one or two, does have a very deep connection with the present moment, with nature, with living in cycles, living within the cycles of that. And so I hope if you have any kind of cold curious, any curiosity to the colds, that this may help you out. If you are curious or have any questions, let me know. On a regular basis, I am going to the Great Lakes to go for swims with people and to be there and to support them with their first several attempts at getting used to and acclimatizing to the cold water that surrounds us all. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day.